Welcome to how to enjoy being alone. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I thrive when I'm alone. Like, I love being alone. I value my personal time like way too much to the point that like it might be a problem. But we're not here to discuss that. We're not here to discuss me. We're here to discuss just being alone, okay? Okay. The truth of the matter is that being alone, especially for like the first time, could be a little bit scary. And you might not know where to go and you might not know what to do. As your internet friend who has quite a bit of experience just vibing alone, I wanted to share a couple of pointers that I had. So let's go. Hands down, the best thing about being alone is that you get to know yourself. The more time you make for yourself, you get to really figure out what you like, what you don't like, who you are as a person, your aspirations, and like all that good stuff. You honestly get so wrapped up in like the day-to-day stuff, you know, whether that be family or maybe your studies or your job or your side projects, or to be honest, even just socializing, because socializing is exhausting. So we get so wrapped up in all of this that we often neglect ourselves. It's really funny because we don't even know ourselves the way that we think we do. At least I didn't, for sure. So this might be kind of like the hardest thing about being alone, because you're kind of just like, but where do I start? Like, how do I go about this? And my advice is to just start. And I know that sounds like terrible advice. Like, I know. Please do not stop. Hear me out first, okay? What I did that helped me a lot was to write down every single thing that I had some sort of interest in. And it doesn't have to be like a specific, skill set that you learn or a very specific hobby. It can just be like random things. For example, one of the things that was on my like to-do list was to sing. It was just singing. Not recording, not taking it professionally, not thinking about it too seriously, just sing. So I put on a playlist and I just belted it out. Like, that was it. That was honestly it. But through this experience, I realized that I loved singing. Not for like a show or anything, but it was just so cathartic. So after that point, anytime I'm stressed or my mind is a little foggy, I just sing it out. With this, there are no rules. So anything that you wanted to do, but you like never had time for, or maybe you were just kind of putting yourself down, like put it on a list. Put it on a list and do them. So I learned something about myself through that experience. So you never know what you're gonna learn. Sometimes they're complete failures and they're like disasters. I mean, trust me, I have been there. I have been through my fair share of disasters, so I know. But they can be really successful and they can actually teach you a lot about who you are as a person and what you like and your own rhythm and your own routine. So just start, man. So the second thing is to just let yourself be. We live in a society where everything is focused on productivity. Like, you always have to have some sort of outcome and some sort of result from whatever you do in life. To be honest, no you don't. No you don't. Seriously. So when you're alone, you can finally get rid of all of those pressures and expectations that society has been pushing on you and you might have internalized too. So after I actually started to just be, that's a weird sentence. That's a really weird sentence. I'm not even sure if this is grammatically correct. I'm so sorry if it isn't. So after I let myself be, I actually learned to appreciate so many things that I would normally miss out on. Being with myself allowed me to really be grounded and just be present in where I am right now. I love this one so much. So much. It is to put yourself first. Treat yourself, okay? I love treating myself. You know, the things that you've always wanted to do, but you never really could because, you know, other people are a thing. You don't want to be a burden. You don't want to, like, you know, cause any trouble. Yeah, all of those things, do it. There's this show called Gilmore Girls. If you don't know what Gilmore Girls is, go watch it. It'll be the best thing that you ever watch, seriously. Just think of me later. For the people that know Gilmore Girls, there's a scene when Lorelai is out of town and Rory is bumming it at home. She's studying and she orders Indian food because Lorelai can't stand Indian food. It's kind of like that. Order your Indian food. So, like, the first thing that I did personally was blast music. So the people around me have very, very different music tastes than I do. And they personally apparently can't stand my music taste. So it's hard for me to just jam out, you know what I'm talking about? When I first started being alone, I would just turn on my music, full blast, because nobody could say anything to me. And you know, after a while, like, it started with the small things like that, like blasting music, you know, ordering Indian food if that's your thing. I love Indian food. And then it kind of escalated to my full-on career path. I realized that I was not living the life that I wanted, and I was just kind of following a career path that somebody else wanted for me. The thing is, if I didn't put myself first, and if I didn't go through these seemingly small changes and shifts, I would have never known. And even if I did know, it might have been a lot later than right now. Put yourself first, because it's your life, okay? Whether you want Indian food or you want a career change, it's up to you. Point number 3 is that you can be real with yourself. The thing is, there's no need to pretend to be okay. There's no need to pretend to be someone you're not, because it's you. By being alone, you don't have to be afraid to be your most genuine self. And sometimes our most genuine selves aren't the prettiest. Sometimes it's not so great and sometimes it's amazing, but it's still us. So if you're emotional, let it all out. And maybe you want to try something or you want to do something and it's not a very conventional way, do it your way. Who cares, man? As long as it's, you know, safe and everything is consensual and okay and safe, you know? For me personally, it is a very emotional thing. So growing up, I always had to hide my emotions, and especially when I was crying, I always had to, you know, physically hide somewhere and just cry it out, because emotions weren't really welcomed in my house. So coming to terms with that and allowing myself to open up and also providing this safe space within me was amazing. This one is kind of similar to the previous ones, but it's a little bit deeper, and it's the idea of reflection. Like, all of my videos so far have been very, very cheesy, and I feel like it's just going to be a recurring theme. Just cheesiness. So I apologize, but not really. A little cheese never hurt anybody. I mean, unless you're like lactose intolerant. Anyways, what was I talking about? Reflection! Okay. When you're alone, you might realize that you kind of go into like a downward spiral of self-loathing and just negative emotions, or you might give yourself really bad self-talks. Happens to me. It sucks. But it's something that you can only change by yourself. Reflect on those feelings and what exactly triggers you in those moments. Allocating time for yourself really allows you to kind of reach deep within the wells of your own personality, whether that be a positive trait or a negative trait. So one thing I learned about myself through this journey of reflection was that I self-sabotage, like, a lot, but specifically I procrastinate a lot. I always assumed that I was just lazy, or maybe I was just not motivated enough, or maybe I was just not a great person or whatever. But I realized that there was actually an underlying issue. And the issue was that I have a fear of rejection. Like, if you procrastinate, that means that you won't really do it until the very last moment, which means room for rejection is a lot less. I don't know. It kind of worked like that in my brain. So it's something that I am still actively working on, and it's so hard. But it's something that I gotta do, right? There are going to be times when, things bubble up to the surface after some reflection that you weren't really expecting. And you're kind of just like, well, what the hell do I do with this now, As a result of this reflection, yeah, it might not be really great news sometimes, but you get to be a better person through it. And you get to know yourself a lot better. So that's good news. So one thing that I do want to say is make sure you don't isolate yourself. I have a variety of self-sabotage techniques, but my number one, hands down, self-sabotage thing to do is to isolate. So I isolate myself a lot from other people, especially when I need to reach out. Being alone shouldn't be like 100% being alone. Like, you shouldn't be 100% alone all the time. Yeah, enjoying your time alone is really important, but also socializing and, creating connections, that's also really important too. So don't be afraid to reach out to people and don't isolate yourself. Don't be like me. Do not. All in all, in the end, do whatever you want to do. This is your journey. You want to have pizza for breakfast? Dude, go ahead. You want to binge watch a show for 3 hours? Be my guest. You want to listen to sad songs and cry your heart out until you can't see anymore? Why the hell not? Do you want to listen to ABBA songs and start dancing around like Mamma Mia at 4 a.m? Why not? But also know that with the freedom of being alone comes the responsibility of taking care of yourself. So don't forget that. You can do nothing or you can do everything. It's up to you, as long as you're happy. Okay, so that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all will enjoy your solo adventures soon. I am rooting for you. I know you can do it, and have fun. Sending you my love and support always. Bye.